Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. So I decided against doing the whole deet, 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 because it's anyway, I let this go for long enough. So, man, how do we feel about not having read that comic book? So, Operation Cinder, huh? Let's get talking about all the good stuff for episode 15, which is chapter 15, but episode 7 of season 2 of The Mandalorian. This episode was called The Believer. So, yeah. Um, Cara Dune, I knew she was going to be in this episode. Only made sense. Bill Burr figures going to be a rescue mission. Digging it so far. I was kind of hoping there was going to be a K2 droid, but that didn't happen. That New Republic droid that is all of the droids that are watching out for the prisoners and whatnot. That was cool. Then bringing him back, the when we saw Boba Fett's new armor, it was amazing, but the focus was immediately taken off it because, like, I thought you were this other guy, and oh crap, like, there's two of them now. Boba Fett's armor. I don't know how I feel about this. What about you guys? I mean, it looks great. Make absolutely no mistake, but man, like, how come he never did that paint job before? Like, he scuffed out all the marks and everything. I mean, did he go to visit the armorer? Because that would be pretty interesting. Anyhow, so they got to go to, um, in order to find where Grogu's at, Yiddle, they have to find out where Moff Gideon and his ship is. In order to do that, they have to find an Imperial terminal. This is interesting because this reminds me a lot of Star Wars Galaxies. When I used to play that game, you have to find the Imperial terminal if you're going to be, going on Imperial missions. If you're an Imperial, so I dug on that. And this particular planet, they mine Rhydon. It seems like they never get the chance to actually bring it back. They always get attacked by the locals and whatnot. So they all have to figure out who has to go in, and it's obviously Bill Burr, but the Mando, of course, is the one who's going to go in. Everybody else is going to be snipers or ship transport. So no missile jetpacks from Boba. We did get a bomb, but not a missile jetpack. So basically, like, without giving away the whole thing, Operation Cinder comes up. Now, this is interesting. So, Star Wars Shattered Empire is the comic book where this actually came out of, and this was back in 2015. So, it was under Marvel when they got the license back immediately. It's like weird, right? How did they, man, they immediately jumped on this. Anyhow, so Greg Rucka was the writer, and Marco Checo is the artist. One of those Phil Noto covers. What's cool about the Greg Rucka thing? Think about that. This is the same guy who's going to be doing the story for or who did the story for the Hawkeye TV series that's coming up. The story that they're focusing on. So you got to know it's going to be a good story. Anyway, the whole idea is to cause all sorts of havoc all over the galaxy. In this particular case, they're going to use the Rhydinium, whatever this stuff, the MacGuffin of the explosive MacGuffin of the week, in order to cause havoc, electrical storms, freaking climate change. I don't know. Tardiness in school, whatever it is that they're going to cause havoc everywhere to show the world sucks, the universe sucks, the galaxy at the very least sucks. Don't you wish that the Imperials were still here? We're still here. Don't you wish that the Empire was still in charge? Hey, we may not have Palpatine, but we still got plenty of Star Destroyers and everything. And hey, there's that Gideon guy, and we also know that Grand Admiral, not Tarkin, the blue guy, the Chiss. I know every single thing about this freaking guy. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, it's not that important. The point is, they've got all these guys available in order to bring order back to the universe, the galaxy. Hey, Raven, what's going on? So, it seems like such a simple plan, right? Yet at the same time, these are the plans that work. Also, I had to look this stuff up because I didn't read the comic book with Shattered Empire, then Operation Cinder. But apparently that was also in a Star Wars Battlefront game as well, which extra especially cool. So I think that the part that I liked the least about this episode, and I loved the episode, but you're not going to like everything about the episode, right? The part that I liked least is that Mayfield didn't stick around with these guys. I genuinely expected that they were going to find a reason to keep Mayfield around. Sure, he showed up and it's like, oh, you're free, and yeah, we expected that at the very least. If I'm Mayfield, we always worry about the things that we fear the most or the things that we would do. So for Mayfield, I'm wondering if he wasn't wondering, oh yeah, it's a shame that Mayfield died in that explosion. He's like, wait, so I can leave? I'm surprised he didn't right away start thinking, wait, are you guys going to kill me? That's honestly what I was expecting. But on the way out, that seismic charge, I'm telling you, man, it's one thing to just watch these episodes and not have any idea or care about anything with Star Wars. It's another thing to be a huge fan and see all these cool parts. Like, I didn't like Attack of the Clones. I really didn't like it at all, almost anything about it. But I really love those seismic charges in space. I don't care if they're supposed to make noise in space or not. That was freaking amazing. So when he goes and drops one of them, and it's literally just gravity that grabs onto it, and just that noise. Oh man, I'm just like, you freaking guys know exactly what you're doing, and it's amazing. Anyway, so I'm disappointed that Mayfield's not going to be with everybody else when they go to try and get Yiddle, because screw Grogu. Grogu. This was a great episode. The episodes are shorter and shorter, right? And we've only got one more episode on the day. Well, technically the day after all those other stories dropped. So, oh, also we did get to see. This was the episode where, and I figured this was going to be it, because it would have been more of an Empire Strikes Back situation if Din Djarin, Pedro Pascal, would have showed his face in the next episode. So I fully expected to be in this episode. If they only showed it in the next episode, because it's only one episode per season, right? If they would have showed it in the next episode, it probably would have been a situation where it's like, oh, they actually take the helmet off his face or whatever, something bad happens. So in this case, the only surviving person who got to see his face is Mayfield. I don't know how I feel about that. One more reason why I expected he's going to shoot him. Like maybe he's going to try and betray it. Like Mayfield's going to try and betray him. He's going to be like, pew, ha, had to kill you for that one. Now no one has seen my face, right? But I think that because he saw the other Mandos, those other three on that other planet with the frogs, I think that this was, I don't know, this was kind of a way of Din Djarin reconciling with the fact that he can't keep this stupid thing on all the time, this big freaking tin can over his head, right? And if there are plenty of other Mandos, including Fett, who's willing to take the helmet off and on and blah blah blah, maybe the Watch isn't the greatest act to join. Whatever. I'm digging the idea of it. All of it. I'm digging the idea of it. I do want him to keep the freaking helmet on all the time, but it is what it is. You got to expect that it's going to come off one episode per season. One more episode to go, and it's probably going to be amazing. I do love the callback that in episode 7 for season 1, when Moff Gideon showed up, Giancarlo Esposito, and he's just, you may think you know what you have, but in fact, you do not. Like that whole thing. The idea that Din Djarin got to do the exact same thing to Moff Gideon at the very end of this, freaking perfect. That is a great callback. And go figure, callbacks is a staple of comedy, and Bill Burr was in this episode. This was freaking fantastic, and the show just keeps on getting better. Also, one thing that's important to me, at least, what is this knucklehead's name? Rick Famuyiwa. Rick Famuyiwa, this is the second episode that he's doing. The first episode that he did was the other one with Bill Burr in it. The camera work in this, the angles that were shot at, specifically when they were climbing up, getting out of the window and trying to climb up and get away from all the guys that were, shooting up, trying to shoot them. I thought the camera angles were amazing this one. I actually started to get dizzy a little bit, as they're showing from this angle, showing from this angle. Oh, now from over here. Oh, they're coming up over here. So let's go this way. Like, it was dizzying. And that's the exact effect that you want to look for, that you're trying to make when you're doing something with heights, when you do something high up. The idea that, oh, somebody could fall. I think that the only way it could have been better if somebody at one point really did feel like, whoa, because that blaster bolt came way too close, right? But they're Imperials. They're never going to come anywhere near these guys, huh? This was a fantastic episode. Pretty much everything about it. And we're going to leave it on that note. Guys, like the video, watch an ad. Go and check out the video that I just did prior to this a couple hours ago to see a good update of all the Marvel and Marvel and Star Wars stuff coming out for Disney streaming and the big screen. And I'm going to go into a whole lot more detail with that on my 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, Sunday morning podcast called the Comic Book University Podcast. I'm on episode 46. That's right. A lot of people loving it. If you're not there, come join the fun. I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.